Well, on the subject of ill-fated trips to the Middle East, Grey Zone editor Max Blumenthal was recently detained with his devices seized by authorities after returning to the States from Iran. And he joins me now. Max, welcome back to Uncensored.
Good to see you, Piers.
First question, why did you go to Iran? And in particular, why would you want to be known to have attended the Ayatollah's funeral?
Well, I went to Iran on a press visa, just like every other journalist who was there.
Guys, make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. And if any question, comment, jokes, or disagreements, I'll be happy to read it out loud and engage with it, guys. And just make sure to send in a super chat or Venmo. Appreciate the support, guys. Let's keep it going.
There, all the mainstream members of the press entered the same way I did. I applied through the Iranian e-visa system, picked up my press visa at the interest section, and went in and covered the largest funeral, not just the largest funeral, I think it was the largest gathering in human history. And I gained insights I would have never gotten.
The largest gathering in human history. Now, look, I know over 1 million people showed up to the Ayatollah's funeral. People were saying like 2 million, 4 million. I'm like, God damn. But apparently, yes, millions around the country in Iran and a lot of delegates from outside the country pulled up to mourn the death of the Ayatollah.
About the state of the Islamic Republic and its constituents and what they wanted, as we were on the brink of returning to a U.S.-Israeli imposed war on Iran. While I was there, I was able to interview officials. I interviewed the mayor of Tehran, Ali Reza Zakani, who presided over the 10 million strong funeral procession for Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. I interviewed academics. I interviewed negotiators. I participated in a press conference with all these other members of the foreign press corps from CNN, ITV, Guardian.
Well, I'm be real with you. If it's honestly, this seems to be like the standard pattern, honestly. They're pretty much saying that, let's see here, an estimate of 10.2 million people attended the 1989 funeral of Ruhollah Khomeini. So it's like, this is pretty much a standard thing. Yeah, when these guys die, millions of people pull up, apparently. Let's see here. But, I mean, But all right, though, let's go ahead and get right back to the video.
NBC. And I was just doing journalism around the country. And most importantly, I was able to report on the first phase of the war and the war crimes committed by my government. I think I was the first American reporter to visit a neighborhood in eastern Tehran where 40 people were massacred when the U.S. dropped 8 bombs on an entire neighborhood. I went inside the ruins of a home where an entire family had been slaughtered, except for 2 members who had been out of town. I visited the Rafiniya synagogue, a Jewish congregation in Iran, which had been destroyed by Israeli bombing. Yes, Israel attacked a synagogue with 2 missiles. And the last time I went to Iran last year, I produced a documentary about the Jewish community in Iran. So this was of enormous interest to me. I went to the Gandhi Hospital, which had its ICU unit and IVF clinic destroyed in a U.S. bombing after the U.S. bombed the IRIB media complex across the street, targeting journalists. And I visited the Azadi Stadium, volleyball and wrestling.
All right, and this is pretty much what I've been finding. I'm not even going to lie, this is crazy. The largest attended funeral in history is widely considered to be the former supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and that's the guy, that we took out in the bombing. Following his passing, official estimates from Iranian state media, so it's Iranian state media, so you can take it with a grain of salt, stated that over 43 million mourners participated in his 6-day funeral ceremony. And you know what? It's believable because, like I said, guys, if you look at Iran's election, bro, 61 million people registered an election controlled by that same Ayatollah. So, I mean, they got support, a whole lot of it. That's why I say when people sit there and say, 90% of the Iranian people hate the regime. Nah, it ain't 90. Sadly, I think it's more like might be just 50-50 or worst case scenario, 70-30.
Stadium, which hosted international competitions, which was bombed deliberately by the United States to ruins as, in kind of a preview of the DHS trying to rig the FIFA competition against Iran's national team by denying them entry. Right. So I gained all this journalistic insight.
Right, but my
journalism
question,
and that is true though. We did try to deny the Iranian team entry, and they had to pretty much go do like their training and lodging in Mexico. But I mean, shout out though. I mean, we appreciate them. They're like good looks. Hey, and shout out to my man Chase. He sent in a GOAT trophy for 1,000 gems. Man, I appreciate the support, my friend. Okay. Oh man. First off, let me go ahead and give you a shout out as well. I'm not gonna lie, what kills me about reading stuff like this is the fact that it's like, bro, why do we sit here and sell propaganda as if, 90% of the Iranian people is just ready to take back their country, when honestly, bro, it's definitely not no 90%, man. We're talking at least like at most, like, bro, 30 million people participated in the Iranian election. That's 30 million people we at least know that so definitely supports this regime, because they not just registered, but they took themselves out there to go vote for candidates that they know are controlled by the regime. Like, ain't that something? But all right, but let's go ahead and get right back to it.
My question for you would be what I think a lot of your critics say, which is, okay, but how much attention and reporting have you done on?
Actually, hold on now. Do you guys like the Kim one or this one?
Velvet tail swing, step light on the mouse, yeah. Purple coat dripping, got the sugar flake gloss, yeah. Marshmallow boulders, I'ma post like a
I know that probably threw some of y'all off who just tuned in. Like, what am I watching? Well, let me know how y'all feel about that one.
For example, the many thousands of civilians that the regime in Iran brutally murdered in January, for example. Have you been to the side of that? Have you been to investigate that?
I did, and I'll get into that. I would directly address that, but let me just wrap up this point that I was making. While I was there, I was targeted by allies of the administration who were representing a foreign apartheid state called Israel, the Canary Mission, for example, which is based out of a foundation in Jerusalem called Megamat Shalom. It is not an American group. Targeted me, painting me as some kind of extremist who had gone to this funeral to honor Khamenei when I went to report on it from my unique point of view. Laura Loomer not only called for me to be arrested and hauled off my flight and dared.
Laura Loomer was wilding, bro. She was like literally showing videos of the funeral and says, "Oh yeah, those all look like targets." I'm like, hey, you know, you're calling for like the bombing of innocent civilians, right? And you know what this lady did? She doubled down. Like, oh, Trump should be striking them right now. These are all targets, all members of the IRGC. And I'm like, whoa, this is a funeral with millions of people attending. Not all of them are the IRGC. They're just people who actually like the guy. Like, you're just talking about bombing them during a funeral. Like, what are we, Chicago niggas? We just sliding on funerals now? Like, I don't know, man. That's a bit distasteful. But Laura Loomer is a bit like, I don't know, unhinged. She needs to check herself into a hospital, honestly.
DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen, who has also been subject to Israeli influence, to do that. She called for me to be murdered along with every other journalist who is on the scene. She called for the United States military to massacre all.
Bro, what was it? It was that guy Jackson Hinkle. She was like, I hope you get airstriked. I was like, bro. It's like, bro, Laura Loomer is so unhinged. It's funny. It's low-key funny, bro. It's like, I damn near want to bring up her Twitter so we could just like low-key revel in the lunacy that is Laura Loomer, bro. Just in the unhingedness that is Laura Loomer. It's almost something to behold, to be honest with you, because you damn near wonder, like, what is this lady doing out in the streets? How does she have a show? I know what, F it. I can get down with that. But why does she have the ear of the president? That's a really big concern right there that we all need to be asking ourselves right there. Why does this lunatic have the ear of the president? Like, all right, like that should be the main concerning question when it comes to Laura Loomer.
Funeral attendees, which would include me and all the journalists.
Well, she's a complete lunatic. No. But she's a complete lunatic. But I.
Well, let me respond to that.
Hey.
She may have been committed to a mental institution.
Hey, and shout out Amanda for sending a loot box for 1,000 gems. Appreciate the support. Let me go ahead and give you the shout out.
razor blade.
And said, He's like, I think we do need to take some time to appreciate Looney Loomer. Let's just take some time to appreciate this young lady here, man. Because she wildin'. And shout out to my man Sid. Did you see Loomer in Ukraine? Yes, I did. I'm not Russian because I'm not a propagandist. And it's just like, so hold on. He can go to Russia and nobody say shit. Tucker Carlson does it. Y'all call him a Russian stooge. Candace Owen does it. Russian stooge. Laura Loomer does it. Not a goddamn word, bro. I swear to God. I swear to God, man. The fakeness in MAGA is killing me. It's killing me, man. It's like y'all are too inconsistent for me at a certain point. But all right, let's keep going here, man, because it's kind of wild. Let's see what else she's talking about. Look, Russian state media is amplifying Tucker Carlson's latest lie that you're allowed to hate Russia because they're white. I mean, he kind of got a point there. But newsflash, Ukrainians are white too. But please enjoy this video of Vladimir Putin kissing the Quran. Imagine kissing a book that glorifies worship of a pedophile named Muhammad and calling yourself Orthodox, because he is an Orthodox Christian, by the way. And Christians and Muslims have lived in peace for a pretty long time, even under each other's, well, never mind, under Muslim rule, not Christian rule. Christians aren't really too forgiving of other religions. Back in the day. Nowadays, the Christians are cool. But back in the Roman times, y'all were savages. But yeah, you see how she just goes off on Islam? Like, bro, if it has anything to do with Muslims, she's going crazy. My man can't kiss a religious book. You know, there's Muslims in Russia, right? There's Muslims all over this world. You tell me my man can't kiss the Quran? Like, bro, come on now. It praises Jesus as well. It tells us that he's the Messiah, that he's going to come back. Like, what? But my man can't be happy about that as a Christian? You know, being able to share that with the Muslims? Nope. Laura Loomer just got to spread hate. She can't help herself. She literally cannot help herself. You got to love it. Like, more gaslighting for Tucker Carlson. I'm sorry, that is funny. But Tucker Carlson, that's funny. Amplified by Russian state media. In this episode about the Russia-Ukraine war, Tucker panders to his low IQ audience by saying unfairly hate Russians. We unfairly hate Russians because they are white. He doesn't say a word about Russia hating Ukraine. Majority of the people in Ukraine are also white. Tucker Carlson is a stooge for America's adversaries. A stooge for America's adversary. Sorry.
Aggressor, Ukraine is the under.
What do you say?
I understand why the European populations are Russophobic, because the propaganda has played upon their best qualities. Russia is seen as the aggressor, Ukraine is the underdog. I think Europeans in general root for the underdog. That's a sign of their decency.
I don't know. I blame NATO. If NATO wasn't really trying to push Ukraine into getting into if NATO wasn't trying to push Ukraine to get into NATO, honestly, I don't think we'd be here. Or, I mean, Putin probably would have still attacked anyway, but at least we could take one reason off the box.
And see, it's also you're allowed to hate Russians because they're white, so you don't have to feel guilty about painting them as animals. You're not racist when you do that.
And I mean, bro, she just goes crazy. This account is a Turkish influencer operated tied to the Muslim Brotherhood. Bro, everybody she don't like is automatically tied to the Muslim Brotherhood. You gotta love it.
Point like that I was making while I was there.
I appreciate Looney Loomer. You just got to take some time, bro. And she's literally talking about the guy I was just playing. Okay, sources in U.S. intelligence have confirmed to me this account is directly tied to Elder. So hold on. So now you're trying to frame Turkey as now trying to influence America to push what? Pro-Muslim propaganda. They're trying to take over the West. It's the Muslims. It's like, oh my God. Oh man, Laura. Oh, Laura. It's always fun to go through your insanity.
That may be true, but she's also very influential in the Trump administration, and she is responsible, and this is a confirmed fact, Pierce. She is responsible for the firing of the top Iran expert in the Trump administration, Nate Swanson, at the NSC, who warned Trump that if the U.S. attacked Iran would close the Strait of Hormuz. So she's taking responsibility.
I have been very, very critical of this war from the start. I didn't see the point of it. I didn't say it can be anything but a fiasco. I think it's been a fiasco. I think it's an ongoing fiasco. But in relation to the question I asked you, though, to establish credentials of journalistic impartiality, did you go to the scene of where the Iranian regime massacred its own people.
Well, first of all, I'm not impartial. I'm absolutely not impartial.
Right.
I'm not objective. And the concept of objectivity, as we understand it, is set out by the corporate media according to the parameters devised for them by their militant Zionist ruling class
okay,
owners.
but did you go to the scene?
Literally
Did you go to the scene of the
that you appear on and others appear on? So I'm not impartial.
Understand?
But to your direct question,
Yeah.
and I really want to have a conversation about how this reflects on journalism and the Constitution. But to your direct question, you previously hosted me in January, and basically I was sandbagged. I was sandwiched between a actual war criminal, Jonathan Conricus from the Israeli military, and 3 Iranian monarchists. And I debated this.
Nah, Jonathan Conricus, if you don't, I know what, I wonder if I can find a picture of him. But look, he's on Pierce a lot. He's an Israeli spokesman, and he just be saying the most wildest things. He says, "Oh, America needed to toughen up. They need to not be such wimps. They need to know how to take pain to go fight Iran for Israel." I was like, "Yeah, bro, kick rocks, kick rocks." And then, bro, this man was also trying to say, yeah, well, why can't we just nuke Iran? I mean, we should be able to nuke Iran. I mean, bro, what's wrong with just killing civilians for a greater cause? I was like, this guy is insane. They're insane. Like, they are wilding out there in Israel.
Very question. And I acknowledged that at least 3,000 people were killed in 2 days of protests, which the Israeli Mossad and U.S. intelligence have expressly taken credit for. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, explicitly took credit for fawning these riots by devaluing Iran's currency. The Iranian government has released the IDs and names of everyone who was killed there. 3,000 people is a lot of people, but they were not
3,000 to 7,000. So, and that's the estimate. Iran came out with about 3,100 and about 500 of them, including police. But of course, human rights group pretty much are saying, well, it's about 7,000. Yeah, about 7,007. So, yeah, so about around 3,000 to 7,000, which is bad, by the way, but it is not 50,000 guys. You know what kills me? When I prove people wrong on this, then they want to move the goalpost. Oh, so you're saying that 7,000 is okay? No, dumbass. I'm saying stop lying, stop believing the propaganda that they're trying to feed you into hyping you up to thinking this war is okay. All right? That's what all they're doing. I mean, if you want to sit there and trip out about 3,000 to 7,000, be my guest. I get you. I feel you. I hate it too. But don't sit there and believe the propaganda of 50,000. Like, come on. In 2 days with just guns, no bombs. All right. Okay.
All just innocent protesters, and many of them were police officers. This all began with attacks on police stations. I actually produce a report on this, able to interview some off-duty cops. I wasn't set up to meet them. I started a conversation with them, and they told me how their police stations came under attack, how police officers were burned and killed. Some were beheaded by the People's MEK, which is a CIA-backed militant organization. There were also Kurdish militant groups like Komale and PJAK, which were involved. These were militarized riots. They weren't innocent protests, and it was a bridge between the 12-day war from last year to the current war, which you say you opposed. But, I watched you manufacture consent for that war by allowing people to lie about the number who were killed, claiming 40,000, 50,000.
Well, I don't think you know how many. I don't think you know any better than they do how many were killed. But
yeah, but let's be real, Pierce. You do be spreading it like you know, and there is no proof at all that Iran killed 50 to 60, 30 to 60,000 people. All we got is 3,000 to 7,000. So, I mean, every time you want to ding somebody on, you went over to go talk to the regime. Don't you know that they killed 40,000? Where's your proof, Pierce? Where's the proof? Where's the names, the dates, IDs? Nothing. But we got name, date, and IDs for the 3,000 that Iran released, and a name and IDs for the 7,000 that the Human Rights Group released. So where's the 50,000?
I do know, and Iran International.
Well, you don't. You know what the Iranian regime told you.
No, he's going off Iranian International. I'm weak. The Iranian regime. Like, come on, Pierce. Even the Human Rights Group in Iran is pretty much saying that, it's about 7,000, like 3,000 to 7,000. They got it at 7,000, but the Iranian state media keeps it at 3. So you know what? I love to say, let's keep it in that range at 3,000 to 7,000.
No, Iran International, which is basically run by Israel and used to be run by the Saudis, has acknowledged.
It's called Iran International, but it's ran in the UK, I believe. So it's kind of wild. And I don't even know how they're credible anymore. Like, dog, they literally sat there and said in their article, it's saying that Iran killed 30,000 protesters, saying that they had declassified or pretty much classified medical documents that they never showed any proof of, never posted a pic of, never released a file, shown to the public, nothing. No, they don't even have proof. They didn't even show proof that they have it. They just said it. They just said, oh, yeah, 30,000 Iranians died. And the reason why we know is because we got classified medical documents that we cannot provide, nor show you, nor even substantiate that we even have in our hand. It's like, then you expect me to believe that?
That less than 5,000.
I've seen multiple reports.
Again, it's a lot.
Listen,
but
I don't know the
clear.
exact number, nor do you, nor do I don't think anybody else does. And hopefully one day we will find out.
Okay, Pierce, what would the UK do if Russian intelligence and Chinese intelligence were arming rioters to attack police stations?
You know what we wouldn't do? I do
burning
think
churches.
Well, look,
what do you think would happen in the?
I would love to sit there and say that we wouldn't mow down our own citizens, but I'm gonna be real with you. If there was an insurgency like that, where a whole bunch of armed people came for the government in that way, they'll start shooting at the Let's say that shit happened in Washington D.C., guys. You got a bunch of armed protesters literally going towards the White House, shooting at police and all that. If you don't think there's going to be a whole bunch of dead bodies after that, you're delusional.
UK.
Well, what we were going to do is, we were going to have you debate with somebody. Will Chamberlain wanted to do it. You didn't want to debate with him. He sent this message.
I don't even know who that is. Is that
okay? Well,
Will Chamberlain be saying too much dumb stuff, but he say it like he's smart, so it's hilarious. Shout out Will Chamberlain. Whoops. There we go.
He's a regular guest on my show, and he's somebody who.
And then you wanted me to debate like a pansexual former Disney actor. Okay. I mean, I'm just going to read. I deserve some respect.
It's okay. You're not debating with me. You're debating with me. But Will Chamberlain sent this message: Max Blumenthal is a traitorous scumbag and an apologist for the most evil regimes in the world. He shouldn't be surprised if custom officials have some questions for him after he returns from doing a PR tour for a country we're conducting major military operations.
Oh, like I'm saying is like, so nobody can be a journalist no more. That's what's killing me. It's like, so what? We can't be journalists no more. You can't go out there and see for yourself. So I just got to believe the propaganda that you're feeding me and just say, oh no, yeah, America, they're feeding me the truth. Even though we've had a history of lying to our people through the media. They're telling me the truth now. Of course, Trump's in office, guys. The media is good. Media tells you the truth. It's like, eat the fed slop, guys. Eat the good goy slop. And that's a good goy. Good goy.
Against. What would you have said if he'd said that to your face on here?
I don't know how y'all do.
Well, in a liberal democracy, you have to go before a judge and demonstrate suspicion of criminal activity to get a warrant. What happened with me was a warrantless, illegal, unconstitutional seizure of my devices after foreign.
But here's the thing, though. It does seem like they're trying to hide what's going on in Iran. Like, to really think about this, guys. They're literally getting mad at journalists for doing their job and going out to Iran and, being a journalist. They're getting mad at them for doing their job because it's Iran, because they're literally trying to keep the propaganda and the lies going that they told you about Iran. But it's hard to sell you these lies when these pesky journalists are going down there and dispelling and debunking all of it. It's hard to sell you the lies when we got journalists actually being journalists going out there exposing the lies, letting you get an inside look on what's going on over there in Iran, which I think everybody should take a look at. I mean, bro, you hate the country so much, you want to go to war with it. Maybe you should see what's going on inside the country. Have a better perspective.
Lobbyists, proxies for a genocidal foreign state, pushed a Trump administration, which is basically merged with that state, and I can discuss that in detail, to arrest me and harass me and seize my devices. There was no suspicion of criminal activity. If there was, all of my devices would have been seized, not
just got them back
my phones. This is a violation of the First Amendment and the Fourth Amendment. And let me make just one point about the UK, your country, versus the United States, because my friend Dan Kovalik, who's a human rights lawyer, just had his devices seized coming into the UK. Sarah Wilkinson is a Palestine solidarity activist who's going to trial in the UK for Twitter posts. Richard Medhurst is a British journalist who's been prosecuted by the UK. My friend, the journalist Asa Winstanley, had his home raided for suspicion of terrorism purely for his journalism. Hassan Piker and Cenk Uygur, who are basically voices of the progressive wing of the Democratic Party banned from the UK.
Well,
Jeremy Lafredo,
I'm
West
sure you're
Journal,
aware.
banned from
If
the
you're not
UK.
aware,
the
you should be
one
aware.
thing that separates us from the UK is the Constitution.
Listen,
and
Max,
the Constitution
I vociferously went into bat for Cenk Uygur of those names because he's been a regular on my show, and I thought it was preposterous what happened to him. So, final question, because we've run out of time.
So we cannot allow ourselves to become the UK and the US.
Final question.
And that's why,
Max,
go ahead.
Final question. Just give me one bad thing about the Iranian regime.
I will, but let me just say that we have filed a lawsuit.
Just one bad thing.
We have filed a lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security. Janine Yunus is leading this lawsuit for the Arab American Anti-Discrimination
Committee. Just to answer my question.
And after that lawsuit was filed, my phones were returned, and we're continuing the lawsuit. And what bad
and we'll
thing
see, and we'll see how that plays
about
out.
Iran. I mean,
we'll see how it plays out. In answer to my question, give me one bad thing about the Iranian regime.
More diverse foods.
Just one bad thing.
I'm not a big kebab guy, but the kebab is great. Iranians are having a robust debate, and it's up to us to leave them alone, to have that debate, to reform within. Iran is not our enemy.
I get it, but just finally,
Iran is not forcing the United States or compelling the United States to go to war. Israel is.
Max, just one more time. Give me one bad thing about the Iranian regime.
I just did.
What was it?
I don't like how the Iranian regime low-key pick all the candidates. I think that should be left up to the people. Like, come on now. But I mean, that's just me inserting my American values, though. That's all. But no, I don't like that. And that shit irritates me. When I seen that, I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, y'all pick all of them? So we don't get no choices out here? I mean, like, we somewhat got an illusion of choice out here, but you guys are just up front with it. You said, no, we pick all your candidates, and you guys can choose when we pick you. Yeah, I don't like that.
I mean, what kind of game is this? That one bad thing about Iran? Again, Iran is not our enemy.
One bad thing about the regime.
Iran is not Pierce. I'm not Shia. Okay, I'm not a religious conservative.
Can you think of any bad thing about the regime in Iran?
Come on, man, they're voting.
I'm not going to play these Orientalist games.
It's a very straightforward question.
What a bad thing is. You know, I'm a product of a liberal democracy like you are, and I'm not to judge them. And we are currently slaughtering their children. And you're asking me to say one bad thing. This really highlights.
Can you not think of a single bad thing about the Iranian regime?
Press media, where I'm supposed to say one bad thing.
Can you think of one
about them?
One?
Nope.
Only want one.
Oh, are you going to get one?
Do I get one?
Can you think about one bad thing about phone hacking? Because you were aware.
It's completely wrong.
What? I mean, you were found culpable for knowledge of hacking into phones. Do you want to talk about that, or do you want to play silly Orientalist games?
Everybody knows that.
I mean, I already lost brain cells sitting through your interview with Clavicular. So why do I have to play these silly games?
I've only asked you to name one bad thing about the Iranian regime. I've given you multiple opportunities to say one. You couldn't say one. I think viewers can.
Would you even call
viewers can make their own minds up?
I mean, this is it. You wouldn't even.
I've got to leave it there. Gave you multiple chances. You couldn't think of a single bad thing to say about the Iranian regime. So we're going to leave it there.
Would you call the UK a regime?
Thank you very much indeed. Okay.